Good morning, this is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for October 12th around 6:30 a.m. Here is very powerful Hurricane Nicole continues to improve in organization south of the island of Bermuda, and it looks like Bermuda's going to get a direct hit from this tomorrow morning. Now, Bermuda is right up here at the top of the screen. It's kind of almost off the screen, actually. But this is going to come north and then eventually start moving off to the northeast and pass either right over Bermuda or just north of Bermuda. So hope the people up there are battening down the hatches and getting ready for potentially a major hurricane. Now, the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center has this as a 105-mile-per-hour hurricane passing very near or over Bermuda sometime between 8 a.m. and 12 noon tomorrow. Using the HurTrack program, you can see the position of Hurricane Nicole at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, 6 nautical miles to the northwest of the island. So basically a direct hit. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if the eye passed right over the island. But either way, it's going to be pretty bad conditions there tomorrow in Bermuda. But the system should pull away very quickly off to the east once it hits and race away from the island. Using the hurricane force wind speed probabilities from the National Hurricane Center shows you there's a pretty high chance that that's going to happen, getting a 1 minute average of at least 74 mile per hour winds. Right now there's a 70% chance for Bermuda, and that'll increase throughout the day today and early morning tomorrow. That red area, it should be near 100% tomorrow. So we'll be watching this closely. You can find all this at the Hurricane Center website, nhc.noaa.gov. Looking at the track that Nicole has taken so far, it's pretty crazy. The system started out here east of the northern Leeward Islands and then moved off to the northwest and eventually west-northwest. And at this point, when it did all this north and south movement out here, it was breaking the ridge down a little bit, eroding the southern ridge that was steering Matthew toward the United States. And had Nicole not been here, this ridge might have been a little stronger, and Matthew might have maybe done a track similar to this rather than a track like this. Now, again, this is speculative because we don't know exactly what would have happened if Nicole was not there, but most people in the weather business do indicate that had Nicole not been out here, that Matthew could have been a much bigger problem to the United States. So in some cases, Nicole saved Matthew from causing 10 times the damage that it caused. Not that it wasn't bad. Matthew was a very bad hurricane for the United States, but it could have been far worse had Nicole not been here. So now Nicole's going to eventually start moving north here and pass right over Bermuda and then sling off to the northeast. But again, showing here 2 p.m. position up in here at 103 mile per hour winds as it's passing Bermuda. Looking at the stats on Bermuda from the Hurricane City database, you can see that this island has been impacted 4 years in a row. This has never happened since records have been kept going back to the late 1800s. In fact, they were just impacted this year on September 24th. Tropical Storm Carl passed just east of the island while moving northeast. So if Nicole hits the island dead on, this will be 6 named storms in 4 years that have impacted the island of Bermuda. Truly amazing. But it just goes to show you, I don't know if there's something going on. Maybe it's something to do with maybe climate change or something, but I mean, this is truly amazing. Since 2000 here, just about every single year, I mean, with the exception of maybe every other year in the middle for a few years here, has been impacted by a named storm. So things are definitely ratcheting up on the island of Bermuda for hurricane activity. With all of the news of the devastation and deaths from Hurricane Matthew, up to around 40 in the United States at this hour, mainly from flooding in the Carolinas. And then, of course, you go down to Haiti and you have a death toll of 1,000 or more. Death tolls continuing to increase down there from disease and everything else. Just a horrific situation in the Tiburon Peninsula when Hurricane Matthew hit with 145 mile per hour winds. But it seems like the forgotten news is the Bahamas. And here's a shot from Andros, and this is taken from the Nassau Guardian. Truly devastating. I mean, these look like pretty decent, well-built homes, and they're completely stripped. I mean, blown out. The interior walls are blown out. Nassau, the northern tip of Andros Island, rather, has took a direct hit from the eye of Hurricane Matthew, and they're saying that North Andros probably took the hardest hit of probably any of these islands. Well, maybe Grand Bahama. I'll show you those images in just a minute, but just shows you the true magnitude of the winds here. 130-mile-an-hour winds just completely gutted some of these homes. Here is that picture from Grand Bahama Island, which took the right front quadrant of Hurricane Matthew, passed over West End Grand Bahama with 130-mile-per-hour winds, and they had some strong southerly winds, and then when the eye passed north of West End Grand Bahama, the winds came out of the west. But look at the damage to these homes, and this is widespread over the western portion of the island as the core of the hurricane passed right over. Luckily, there have been no fatalities reported in the Bahamas. These people really know how to hunker down pretty good, but the wind here really did a number on these islands. And this video that went viral from Nassau, showing the roof being ripped right off a house, truly amazing. Winds in these three islands were tremendous as Hurricane Matthew passed over. As Matthew passed close to Florida, right near Cape Canaveral, I was in New Smyrna Beach covering this live on Hurricane City TV. We had some pretty interesting moments. Here's one of them when storm surge came in on my truck, and this happened pretty unexpectedly here. You see the surge come right up and go underneath. I was on a ramp that leads down toward the beach, and the water surrounded my truck. Now, this was on hurricanecity.tv, and then you'll see here the water recedes real quickly, and then you're going to see a view of it on the HD cam. That was a camera I had strapped to my shoulder inside the truck, and you can see here it comes up the ramp real quickly, surrounds the truck, and a little hairy moment there because you don't know how far these waves are going to go inland, but it's been dragging debris up and off the shore. In fact, down that ramp there, the stairs that lead down to the beach are half underwater. That's how much sand has been brought in on the beaches from Hurricane Matthew in the New Smyrna Beach area. But from everything I saw in the New Smyrna area, the damage was moderate. There were some tree limbs down, minor roof damage, power lines dangling, but the worst conditions were further up the coast and in the Carolinas. Now here I get out and walk around a little bit to survey the damage on the seawall, and luckily they had a seawall there, because if they didn't have a seawall, a lot of these areas would have been eroded really badly, and some of these buildings would be on the edge of collapse. But look at the stairs here, buried in the sand. That's how high that sand got up against that wall. That wall is much higher than that. Probably, I would say probably 10 feet, but it's more than 4 or 5 feet right now with all the sand laying there. But anyway, this video can be seen at our YouTube channel on Hurricane City. Just visit the front page and you can see our YouTube channel. By the way, we had our remote cam located on the site as well, and there's video on several minutes of video of this camera as the huge tumultuous waves were beating up against that wall, and that can be found on the tower cam on that video. It's about a 20-minute video. Hope you enjoy it. And it can also be found on our video archives page hurricanecity.com/archives. Video archives. hurricanecity.com/video archives. On a final note, some of the models out there are indicating that we could see development in the western Caribbean Sea over the next 10 days. In fact, the GFS model late yesterday had something kind of like this, drifting off in the northwest Caribbean. The European model had something over here near Jamaica. But the point is, this time of the year, this is a hotbed of activity in the western Caribbean Sea, and the most likely tracks are generally north towards Florida or the Bahamas. Good God, they don't need anything else in the Bahamas. They had Joaquin last year. They have Matthew. They don't need anything else heading into the Bahamas. So let's hope that doesn't pan out. But we're going to have to watch it closely. I'll give updates as the models progress over the next week or so, but this will take a little bit of time. We're talking around the third week of October before this would be a threat. So we'll have to see how this evolves. As I wrap this up, here is a look at the Port Bermuda webcam live as the wind and the rain is beginning to batter the island. Hurricane Nicole will be approaching tomorrow morning and early in the afternoon, and then pulling away late in the afternoon. We'll be live on hurricanecity.tv covering this as it happens. Then we'll archive it on our archive page, hurricanecity.com/video archives. That's it for now. I'm Jim Williams. Thank you for watching.